Okay, so welcome to the MTM family method. I am Darren, and I'm really happy that you've found me in amongst the sea of information on the internet and that you've found a way to sign up to this free module and trial of the MTM family method in support of your child, teen, or young adult son or daughter who might be suffering or experiencing motor tics, vocal tics, or Tourette's right now. So welcome to this video. This video is just going to be directed for parents. The next video is an introductory video to the program for parent and child. But this video is just for parents. So if you're a child and you're currently watching this, I want to give your parent an opportunity just to receive me first, and then the next video you can watch together. All right, so this video for parents only. Good. As you can see already, that the way that I record these videos throughout the program is like in conversation with all of us. Because the types of things that I will be sharing to your child through these videos and to you through these videos will be slightly different, because you're going to be playing a supportive role as mom or dad. The supportive role that will entail the structure to help them go through step by step the modules, and also the role of starting to explore and understand your own regulation, nervous system, and emotional awareness that can support your child too. Understanding your relationship to stress and anxiety is important because it affects everybody around us all the time. But anyway, before we move too quickly into the contents here, I want to say a few things. So I've been doing this work now for 5 years, helping all ages with this condition, from as young as 6 and 7 up till 77, like the full breadth of ages in support of healing this condition, managing, calming, letting go, reducing the movements and the sounds. I do this work, and I've been doing this work because I lived for 20 years with a ticking body myself. Maybe you've already listened to my story in the webinar or book, or maybe the video on the initial sign-up page to this program. I'm not sure, but I'm just recapping a couple of things here for you just in case. So I then went on a healing journey to heal myself, and this program is about teaching the tools that work. I've watched work in me and watched work in many people from all over the world over the last 5 years. And when I say work, I mean to significantly reduce and or completely heal the movements and the sounds that are happening unconsciously through the body. So just to make sure you're in the right place, right? Tics, we're talking about tics, motor tics, vocal tics, and Tourette's. Tics are like, they're kind of urges that happen that send a movement through. It's like an urge that has to happen, and then a movement comes from the urge. And everybody will describe it differently. Some people say that, well, it's not really me that's doing it. It just kind of happens, and they're unaware that the movement or the sound is just happening. But some people are very aware that the sound or the movement is happening. It's like, yeah, I just need to do it. I just have to do it. It's just like the urge makes me do it, right? And then I will do it. Right? So we're giving in to a sensation in the body, and we're reacting to it, acting on it, and then creating a sound or a movement. Now, both perspectives still sit under the branch of this is motor tics, vocal tics, or Tourette's. Whether somebody's conscious that they're doing it or unconscious they're doing it, it's still tics, vocal tics, or Tourette's. To define, if you're unaware at this stage, what Tourette's is versus motor tics is, Tourette's is usually the diagnosis given to children who have been living with a motor tic and a vocal tic for an extended period of time. Usually that's more than a year. Sometimes it's diagnosed just after 6 months. But essentially, I use all these 3 words interchangeably because in the end, like, science likes to break them all down into different buckets. But ultimately, healing it, we're focused on the deeper underlying root and we experience that as the urge. And so what's an urge? And so we want to get to the root of the urge. Why is the urge happening itself inside the body? And the way I describe that in the webinar and later on in the program, and I'll briefly mention it here, is an urge is happening when the energy is moving up and down the nervous system in the brain. And the urge happens when the neural network itself, the roads which the energy is moving through, up and down through, are like side streets and one-laned passages versus motorways or freeways. And so the energy is getting stuck, and the urge is happening, and we have to do something to like force the energy through and out us. It's the best description I have of what I've sort of found in myself and others over all these years of healing this condition. So in saying that, what I am is a coach and trained in CBT therapy, but I don't describe myself as a doctor or a medical practitioner or even a therapist. I describe myself as a coach because ultimately I don't do any of the healing, you guys do, right? It will be your child that will be doing the exercises, which itself, those exercises, is what will heal the condition, okay? So you're there to help create the structure so that they get the exercises done as a mom and or dad or parental guidance officer, that which you are, okay? So having said that too, you're here with somebody who is acting as a coach and a support and a guide, right? So there's wisdom and experience, first-hand experience here with the condition, but you're not working here with a medical practitioner or a doctor. Okay, and what I experience is that doctors don't really have any answers to this condition, and more often than not, they've been trained by a system of school which encourages, first and foremost, pharmaceutical solutions to things, which isn't real healing. It's usually just a band-aid when we use that kind of approach, especially which feels like a juggernaut for such a subtle condition like tics and Tourette's. Inside it, subtle energies are moving to create the body. It's subtle energies, subtle urges create the expression of the body. Hopefully you're getting a sense of how I teach here. It's very embodied and connected to the physicality, because I've had to learn to do that to heal myself. Okay, so I want to address a couple of things here with you as a parent, because although I'm adding a lot of information here to you as the first video here in the program, you will no doubt be experiencing some emotions yourself as a caregiver to a child who's living with some level of tics. It can be quite distressing watching a child move or make sounds. And I want you to acknowledge that it's okay that you will be having responses to this. I want you to understand that you will have emotional, very likely emotional responses to your child that's experiencing this condition. And your emotions are as valid as their emotions. What you're going through is as valid as them. Now, it doesn't mean you have to pour your heart out to your child and tell them all of the emotions that you're feeling because of the way they're moving. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that you're allowed to feel upset, frustrated that you don't know what to do, that you might have some sense of panic that my child's going to be suffering in the future, right? Or some level of guilt that like your child is experiencing this, and like maybe you could have done something better. Right? Like all of these kind of stories are often playing out in parents' heads. I've had so many conversations with parents, and it's okay that you have these feelings and these stories playing. It's not wrong. It's not bad. There's nothing wrong going on here. The expressions of a young child that's happening with tics is a symptom of a very sick society we live in, where mental health is not at the center stage of our well-being, our health system, or even our social media world, our educational system. So we are living in a state of hyper-sensitization in our world. And so we need to right now learn some basic tools and techniques to start caring for our well-being again. That's a big part of what I'm teaching in the MTM family method. Is just, okay, how can I, as a parent, learn some basic tools to care better for the nervous system, my mental and emotional well-being, and of those around me, so that we can all be healthier and emanate a healthier essence to everybody around us in our society and our community too, right? You know, we don't live isolated. Like my mental and emotional well-being is not in isolation from my mother and father. We are affecting each other all the time, and that's a part of this program and why we have specific videos for parents in this program and specific videos for you and your child to follow along to together with interactive practices. Okay. So you are in a space of experience and wisdom, intimate experience with this condition. There's few people you find online that can speak about this condition as intimately as I can. And I don't say that egoically, I say that with a knowingness that I've trawled the web for years trying to find a solution to this problem. Didn't find it, so I had to create it. Okay. So that worry, that anxiety, allow it to be there. If you're feeling it, acknowledge it, and it's okay. Right? And just me saying that to you right now, I hope you'll find some sort of respite in acknowledging the emotions you're experiencing. Okay? And at the same time that you're giving yourself an opportunity to acknowledge these emotions, and at the same time, I want you to also know, right, that if you are living in a perpetual state of worry, anxiety, and stress from work, from doing too many things, to just panicking about your child who's experiencing what they're experiencing, then your stress and worry will be affecting those around you too, right? Especially the very sensitive little ones. So this journey is also about taking responsibility for your own emotions, so that you can trust that there is a way through this and out of this. And the journey involves both supporting your child, but also getting to grips, understanding, learning about your own emotional well-being too, as a parent. And I don't say this lightly. I really don't say this lightly. I say this with as much love as I can. Often, more often than not, this is a journey not just about your child, but about you too. And yet, I've wrapped up this whole journey and this whole trip as a step-by-step process for your child. But I also want to share that with you lovingly, that it's a trip for you too. And I wish that you and more parents have the courage to say, yeah, I want to go on this trip. I want to go on this journey. Let's go on this journey together. So we're focusing here in the MTM family method on the root. We're not here to do band-aids for this condition. And even if they did exist, I haven't found any. So we're here to deal with the root issue of tics and Tourette's, as I described to it earlier. How the energy moves between the nervous system and the brain. And there are regulation practices we're going to learn in balancing the nervous system. And there's also integration, movement practices, very primitive primal movement practices that your child's going to learn in order to activate and strengthen some of the oldest parts of the motor cortex, some of the original parts of the motor cortex when the brain development starts very early on, even in the womb. So by doing certain very old movements, which strengthen some of the bigger limbs of the human body, and the initial safety mechanisms of movement that kind of built into the psyche of a baby in order to, for our primal needs to be met, like rolling over, things like this. Once we strengthen those networks, then the sporadic nature of this kind of motor cortex that's kind of all over the place gets to soften. It's no longer sparking in different directions and all over the place through the neural circuitry to create different movements, right? It's strengthened, and the energy gets to move through the currents of the nervous system that weaves through the whole body into the brain seamlessly. Okay. So, a couple of other things to say here. You're here as a team. Okay, so as I've shared already, like this is a teamwork game, right? And I'm saying a game because we want to keep it enjoyable, not this big, difficult, shadowy thing that we got to fix, right? It's like we want to approach it with an openness and an awareness and a lightness that it's okay. We're going to go through this together. All right, we're in this together. You're doing nothing wrong. You're doing nothing bad. Yet at the same time, it's a good thing to become healthier. Okay. So the next video that's available here in this introductory module of the MTM family method is a video which you're going to watch with your child. Now, before watching this video with your child, you may or may not have had a conversation with your child about this thing. Okay, so, there's a lot of parents that be watching this that haven't yet approached the subject, yet they know they want to do something. And there's going to be some parents that have already had conversations and are noticing maybe it's difficult to have the conversation about it or talk about it, or how to encourage them to do something different or to try something new, or maybe you've tried lots of things already and one of them's worked. There's another thing to do, right? So, so I just want to address the sensitivity nature of this, the sensitivity of approaching this. Because the tick, the movement that's happening through your child right now, the sound, it's usually a part of them that's in their shadow. And I'm going to use this language as adults to describe what's going on, but children, it's more difficult conceptually to understand this. But in this video, I'm going to share it. It's a part of them that's in their shadow. So if a tick is happening unconsciously, regularly for them, or even if they're aware that it is happening and they're doing it, right? It's a shadow aspect of them. What does that mean? A shadow aspects of them means that they are somewhat unaware of what's going on, even though they might see the ramification of the movement or not, depending on what they're focused on in that moment of time, right? It's some level of it is in the shadow, in the darkness. It's a part of them they don't want to see or they're not seeing. And so you will probably experience a part of them not wanting to engage with this, right? So that part of them that doesn't want to engage in this is part of them that you, as a parent, are learning or going to learn how to relate to. Because some parents are like, well, they don't want to. There's nothing I can do. Okay, well, they got to live with it, right? Or there's another part of you as a parent that's trying to engage with that part of them, but you're getting frustrated because they're not listening to you, or they close up, or they turn around, or they get angry. Okay? So the middle way is finding a way now to meet them in their shadow with love in a new way of communication. And that means learning for you how to soften to another level of slow, compassionate, patient awareness to meet them in the part of them that they don't see or understand yet. And it's not always easy to do, right? As a parent, to meet your child in all of their idiosyncrasies, it's not always easy to do. But that's your opportunity to meet them in love, another level of where you're struggling to accept them in. And that's usually because of your reactions to their movements and sounds and your worry and panic of that. And so all of this, what I'm describing here, is addressed in the MTM family method. And it's not just about fixing your kid, it's about how you find a way to meet your kid in the suffering they're experiencing and support them and guide them through it too. Now that's leaps and bounds above what doctors try to do with quick fixes, band-aids to mental health problems. So hopefully in this moment you can start to see the value of what I'm wishing to offer here in the program, and that you're going to start to sample here in the first module and the introductory module that you're listening to here. Okay. So even at this stage, to begin bridging that gap if you haven't had a conversation with your child yet about movements? How could you talk to them about it, right? What little gifts could I give you right now that would support you to open up the dialogue with your child without making them feel as if something's wrong, something's bad, like they're doing something incorrectly, because that's what a lot of parents are worried about at the beginning, and you might be too. Or maybe you've already spoken, about the tics with your child at this point, and they might have already felt that from you by accident, because none of us are perfect, right? That's okay too, right? Let's start with where we're at. But there's a way of approaching this without judging. So one way we do that is by sharing curiosity. It's not like, do you want to fix that? What's going on there? Oh, I don't like you're doing that. I don't like that you're doing that. Oh, that made me jump. Or even though that might be your reaction. Showing present, loving curiosity with as much gentleness as you can towards what's going on with their body. So if it is a motor tic, sharing some words like this to them after you've been in a space with them for a while, where you're both kind of connected in some way, in the same energy field, in the same room. How are you doing there? How's your neck feeling? How are your eyes doing? Maybe you want to share something from your perspective. Like, there's other ways of doing it. You could say things like, I've noticed, darling, I've noticed, son, daughter, however, what language you use to soften and create compassion for you in your unique situation. I've noticed that sometimes your shoulder looks uncomfortable. Don't address it like it's moving, like as if the movement is wrong. Address it like you are cueing into an uncomfortableness that they might be experiencing. Does that make sense? So we're softening a little bit differently. I'm noticing that that your wrist looks uncomfortable sometimes. What's going on there? Right? And it might be that they can't always answer the question, and that's okay too, right? Come on, watch this video with me. Right? In the next video that is available here in the program, it's an introductory video for your child and you to watch together. Okay? And so I'm going to be very gentle as I ease in and talk about the movements or the sounds, and hopefully relate to your child in a way maybe they haven't been related to before from somebody who's experienced it and knows how it intimately feels inside of them. Okay? And so I encourage you to invite them to watch this video together, so that you can go on a little journey there. If you want to watch the first portion of the video just to make sure that it feels right to invite them to watch, obviously go ahead and do that as well. You're welcome to do that, of course. Or you can just grab your child and say, come on watch this with me right now, if you've already opened the discussion about the movements or the sounds. Okay, so hopefully you've got a sense of the sensitivity in the way that I am sharing quite difficult things sometimes, and how we approach this process and this method as we move forward to manage, calm, and stop tics and Tourette's. Okay, so I will see you in the next video.